What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris, the Hickory Algorithm, out here with another one for the love of the game. Joined by Jermi Little.
That's
How
me.
was that? Was that good? No good?
All right, that's
All
fine.
right, man. We have a special show today. As you guys know, if you've been reading the newsletter, talked a lot about the writing class that I've been involved with over there at CVCC, and where that's taken me and how that's really helping me grow with my campaign designs and just my writing as well. And my man here was in that class, is in that class with me. And I wanted to bring him on today. And here's the thing. I didn't know whether to call him an actor. I didn't know whether to call him a producer. I didn't know whether to call him a screenwriter. So I still don't know. And I'm gonna ask him right now, what do you prefer to be called, man?
Just Jermi Little. I'm a student, trying to learn all three and do better. I've been trying to learn this, and I'm learning every day. So yeah, I would love to be called that officially one day. But thank you, though.
I mean, I think you already are, man. You work towards it. You know, I mean, look at all this. Look at all the stuff around his neck. Like, look at this. I mean, look at all the badges, and you look like Flavor Flav over here with the.
I wanted you just to see. I saw your equipment. That's what I wanted you guys to see. Film festival stuff, and I'm happy to wear these. And I show them. They're put up at the house, but I pulled them out just to show them to you. But yeah, this comes from being hungry, and just struggling and putting something good together and meeting the right people, which I was, I didn't do this. This is not me. This is real talk, man. Mike Ray Anderson, him directing this, writing this, putting this together, from the short film to the full-length feature, and Chad Ayers and Davis Osborne, people like that. And, our DP, Connor Purnell and Ethan Hagel, they're the ones that made this happen. Trust me, it's all them. I wish they were here. They're the ones that made this happen. Hawthorne James, AKA Big Red from the Five Heartbeats, him. Those are the people that, deserve those titles. So.
Well, I think you gotta give yourself a little credit, man, because one thing I pride myself in is I try to find people that have a little love of the game. What they do, they have a love for. I don't care if that's making coffee. I don't care if that's, sewing, but in your work, the love of the game has to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, dude, the more I talk to you, the more I see the work and we talk about the passion and the things that you have coming up, that love of the game is there. And you might say it's other people, but it's you're the catalyst for it, man. I mean, some of the films that you've done. I mean, what was the last film that you created?
A couple months ago, we wrapped on the full-length feature of In the Matchbox. The short film I showed you.
Yeah.
Where all 50 of these come from that short film that everybody teamed together to make. Yeah, well, we wrapped on that. And that's the last thing, that I had shot, which was like 3 months ago. That's the last thing that I officially shot.
Now you have something else coming up, Sonya, right? You have that coming up.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
So is that in pre-production? Where is that at?
Yeah, that's we're finishing up the script. I'm going over probably my 20th script revision right now. I need the script airtight before we start shooting. Yeah, I did tell you about that. Yeah, the breast cancer short film.
Mm-hmm.
True story, 100% true story about my first girlfriend who died of breast cancer, and story how we met, and how breast cancer affects you and affects anybody, and it changes decisions, life decisions, and it's a real good story, man. And I'm looking forward to shooting, and I can't wait to get that shot, man. Just think about that takes my mind somewhere else,
When you have an idea or in this like a story, I'm always so fascinated with when I see someone that I look up to or someone that I see has a little love of the game. I always want to know their creative process. How does it get from here to a screen? Like, what is that process like for you? is that just writing it all down at one time, or is it over time, or is it just a maceration of just over time these things come to you, or how does that? What's your creative process like when you're like, that's a good idea, I want to film, there's something here?
I think that just it's like 99% of everything that I write and try to make a movie out of is something that happened. It's a true story. And I don't have a lot of, fictitious ideas. Just, it'd be real stuff that's happened to me. And it's just, this stuff's always playing in my mind. And so I don't sleep good at night. My mind just doesn't shut down. And I just sometimes get up in the middle of the night and I just write down my ideas and stuff that makes me laugh or makes me angry or makes me cry. If it can get one of those three reactions out of me, then I feel it's worth something. And you're just writing it down and just playing over my head. And how would it look on camera? And I ain't gonna lie, man. I bugged the hell out of my director Mike Anderson. I bugged him. I bugged the piss out of him. I know he gets on my nerves, but I bug him about stories and what does he think of this and think of that. And yeah, it just starts out, it just starts out as an idea, and I try to write a little short script to it. Anything under 20 pages, I can probably handle. But full-length feature, no, I can never write a full-length feature. But yeah, I enjoy writing shorts with just ideas and just write it down and try to answer your question. You got to get money up. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can shoot nothing without money. You got to have money to pay people. I don't have people work for free. It's just fundraising and selling my motorcycles, selling my SUVs, sold some gold I bought in Iraq back in the day. I just sold a bunch of stuff I had, to fund my projects. And
you just believe in the idea. Like as soon as the idea
oh
comes,
yeah,
you're like, we're gonna do it, and this is how
yeah,
it's
because
just gonna get done. And
I mean, nobody can see what you see, but you, and God, of course, and there's some people that can see it.
right,
So
man, I just when it hits the paper, it's like, do you have people in mind? Like when you're writing it down, or it gets to a point where you get 20 pages, right? You get 20 pages. You're like, do you see the person that you want as that actor, or do
oh
you
yeah,
see them
yes.
as like just a very gray kind of, oh, we want them to be white, we want them to have this age, we want them to have this facial hair, or is it like, I want it to look like this, and you have a very distinct way you want them to look?
I honestly know how I wanted to look. Like when we shot the short film, when I talked to Mike about it, I knew how I wanted to play for the uncle, and I knew that Mike knew him, and um, I I knew who I wanted, for what parts. I knew Mike would be, the perfect cousin in the part. I know I could play nephew, and I just knew like Davis Osborne. I knew he'd be perfect for this part right here. I knew that Chris Washburn would be perfect, because he's this tall, 6'11", and big hands, and just I just knew.
You had the scene. You had what you
Yeah, it's
wanted. You
like
wanted the guy to be knelt down. You wanted the guy to be
yeah,
super tall
yeah,
behind
yeah.
him.
Well, see, like I'm staring off into space right now because that's what this does. Like, when I think about my stuff, and I'm like I'm there. I'm when I'm serious, man. When I look at the paper, and I I literally go into the paper. I guess, man, like a LSD trip. Never done LSD, but you go into the paper, and you lose it, and you just write down what you see, and what happens next, and just write it down. Not necessarily in script form, and just write it down, and then just try to break it down. Characters and what they're doing in action, which is the unorthodox way to write a script. It's total opposite of what we're learning in class.
Right.
Yeah. The
Right.
the stuff in class is way over my head, and I got to learn. But I ain't been to school since I was in the Army, so. But yeah, I just write it down and try to get somebody to put in a script form for me. I told you, how I would, I've looked up scripts online. Like Uncle Buck is one of my favorite movies of all time, and and the script, how they format the script, and I just okay, copy paste, and delete the lines out, and just kept it, interior, exterior,
Right.
and put the stuff in that way so I can get an idea how to write a script. Just self-taught and studying the greats, but not doing it their way because they're good at it and I'm not. So
Well, I think that's what inspiration is, right? You take from outside the influences that you love and those things that you like, but you have to see them through your lens, like your eyes, what
Yes,
you see,
yes.
and how you want it to be done. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I think that there's a lot of pull in something like that, man. So, um, man, are you born and raised in Hickory? Have you?
I was born here. Yeah, yeah. I was born here. Spent a lot of time, as a kid, going back and forth between Hickory and DC. But yeah, a lot of my childhood and years was spent here in Hickory. Just lived all over Hickory. So
I mean, you're here now, right? Is it your permanent residence now?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So do you do a lot of flying around then with all those film festivals and things, man? What does like when you get that short, it's 10 minutes. When you get that feature and you start going to other places to show it. I mean, what does that just sort of getting on like a magic carpet ride, dude, and away you go kind of thing? Or
I'm
it's
gonna tell you this, man. Like the best feeling in my life I've ever had was, when we're like at Miss Show Film Festival, LA Shorts International, different film festivals, and you see your movie, in the movie theater
that'd be
at the AMC
wild.
theater, and people bought tickets and they come in and see you at the film festival, and you see your stuff on the screen. I swear, man, it does something to you. It does something it does something to me, and like, and I wish that everybody in the cast and crew could have came to every festival we've been to, but I try not to get emotional about it, man, but it does, man. It's something, man. You're sitting there, and and when you hear reactions from the crowd, the audience, and people cussing and screaming, ooh, ah, dude, it's the best feeling.
Pride, just like, does it just fill you up? Like, is that what it feels like, or is it just sort of?
Good pride,
Yeah,
not the
yeah, yeah,
bad pride.
right.
The good pride, yes. And I ain't had nothing to be proud of in my life, man. But it's I have now, and reason why, because we did so much with nothing. We did this movie with nothing. We did nothing, and yes, here at the different film festivals, it's very motivating to me. And I got addicted to going to film festivals. I shouldn't have. I mean, we shouldn't have been in 50 film festivals. We shouldn't have been, but I had confidence in us and knew that if we got in front of the right set of eyes, what we could do. So
So, if there's anybody out there that's watching this show and they're thinking, I didn't make it locally, or I didn't make it in, if they're in Auburn, I didn't make it in my local film festival. You tell them, I
oh,
don't care. You get out there, and if you filmed it and you're proud of it, dude, you go out there and you do it, no matter where you are, because, like you said, it's all about finding the right eyes. And if you just pigeonhole yourself in one place with your art, you know what I mean? You got to expand. You got to show the masses what you've done.
listen to criticism, listen to criteria, with your movie projects or shorts, whatever you're shooting at, just try to do the best quality. And yes, and your hometown is going to be a lot of the time your biggest, drain of energy. I've gone through the Hickory, and we talked about it a little bit.
Right.
And yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these film festivals, these little hometown film festivals and hometown film societies, they're going to be jealous of you. They're going to be envious of you. They don't want to see you do something they can't do. They're going to, pull strings and not collaborate, but what's the word?
Make you go uphill, basically.
With collusion with other people to try to keep your project being seen, and they want to discourage you. They want to destroy your project. They want to distract you. And there's other film festivals out there. You're saying, and I've learned, don't take a lot of these little. And I never want to sound like I'm bad mouthing anybody's film festival, but there's good film festivals out there. Any Oscar qualifying film festival, it's an Oscar qualifying film festival for a reason. That's
You're talking about the Oscars, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. The
right.
Oscar qualifying film festival in the short film category, those are the ones that you want to submit to. They're harder. They're darn near impossible to get into, but once in a while, somebody like myself can fall through the cracks.
Right.
And you can be screened at one, and just keep fighting. If you got an idea, for young filmmakers, and I'm still a young filmmaker. I'm new to this too. I'm not here to preach to nobody, but good God, man, you can do it. You can. It's all about, good quality. Have somebody that you gotta get a team together that wants to make something good. That's all about getting paid and getting money. You gotta have people who are hungry like you. If you got hungry people on your team like you, y'all can make something happen. You can, point blank. And I'm not here to, pep rally, soapbox talk. I promise you, but I've been through the highs and lows of, trying to get a short film and a full length feature off the ground. And yes, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm very upset with my hometown treated me. Yeah. I'm very upset with the way Hickory, some of these people here went out of their way to, pull the rug out from under my feet and just trip us up. And they're wrong for it. And I'm not gonna say their names unless you ask to hear their names, because, yeah.
I think that a lot of local film festivals and things, and even any creative space, not just movies. I think it's like that in any kind of art. Where if someone thinks that your stuff is better, they're going to do everything they can to not put it out there for people.
They don't want to acknowledge you, and they don't want to recognize you.
Right.
And they're going to.
And where did you place in that Oscar Film Festival, dude? Where was that?
Oh, at Pan-African Film Festival 2024. Yeah, and the Matchbox finished second place. The movie that beat us, The Last Ranger, was nominated for an Oscar, and that was a good short film, man. We watched it. Yeah, they deserve to be nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, and Some Snakes Eat Snakes, another one that we shot here in Hickory as well. Last Sunday for last, it finished third place at PVIFF in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's a good film festival, man. I mean, that's a good film festival.
Was that another Oscar one, or?
Yeah, it's an Oscar qualifier. Yes.
So you've actually had two films.
That
were Some Snakes Eat Snakes.
Yeah, Some Snakes Eat Snakes is it's got one Oscar qualifying film festival, and then the Matchbox has it screened at Tribeca. It wasn't an official selection, but it was part of a private screening, which is just as good, like I said, for somebody like me, like us, who ain't done nothing like that. And it screened at LA Shorts International, and it finished second place at a Pan-African Film Festival. Something shot in little old Hickory, man.
Right, dude.
I mean, that shouldn't have happened.
Right.
But I said, I got lucky. I got so fortunate, met the right people who believed in me, believed in the story, and here we are.
I don't know, man. You gotta give yourself some credit here, but I'll do it for you.
Nah,
but
no.
I mean, you've. I mean, everybody all hands on deck, but I mean, there's one constant throughout all that, man. That was you being hungry. You know what I mean? That was you going through it.
I'm hungry, and we found the right hungry people. And I'm gonna say it again, man. The Mike Ray Anderson, Connor Purnell, was the DP on the short film, and Chad Ayers, who played the professor, and Mr. Hawthorne James, the underrated, underappreciated legend, doggone Davis Osborne, from The Conjuring 3. I got lucky and met the right people. They looked good together and got it knocked out, and Ken Allen, who edited it for us, who's editing the full-length feature right now. It's all about the editing, man. I said, I did nothing, man. I promise you. I just had a crazy story my great-grandmother told me, and I told the story to Mike, and wrote was like 11-page script, and give it back to Mike, and he reached out to Mr. Hawthorne, and they talked whatever, and let's shoot it. And we shot that in one day. And like I said, man, shoot that in one day with no money.
You have one camera?
Yeah. Connor had a RE Alexa Mini LF with them Sigma Prime, whatever them $1 million lenses are, he brought to the house. And I mean, yeah, we shot it one day, one camera, and one gaffer, one sound guy. Willie Kimber was our sound guy. Russ Wiley, he was on set, working. Yeah, we shot it all in Hickory, man. 9-degree weather.
As I said, it looked pretty cold.
It did, thanks to them. Yeah, they did their thing, man. They did their thing.
Yeah, that's really good, man. I think you've done a great job with just the one film you shared with me. That one, I think you guys have done great work, man. And I can't wait for you to see the next thing, man.
Me too.
I'm so excited for just because you and I have talked about it, but I don't think anyone that's watching really thought of it. But I was at WHKY, and when guests come in, they go to the green room. Well, I make it a point to go sit in that green room with them, so they're not by themselves, just sitting there waiting. So Todd, the guy's teaching our class, and I'll brutal his name too.
He's the man.
Yeah,
he is the man.
So Todd was teaching the class, and he came into the radio station to just promote the class. He was telling what he was doing. And I'll never forget when he came in, he was like coughing a little bit. And I'm like, hey, man, you all right? You need a drink or something? He's like, oh, I've been in LA, man. My throat. He's like, I just don't. I was like, I'm like, what are you? And in my head, I'm like, why LA, Hickory? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I was at the Emmys or something. And I was like, shut up. Dude.
Every year.
He was like, this is year 7 or something. And I'm like, whatever, dude. So I'm sitting talking to him. He's teaching a class at CVCC. And then the producer comes by, grabs him, takes him to do his interview. And I'm sitting there, look him up immediately. Like, this guy's BSing me, right? Like, he's just, right. So I'm sitting there, and I looked, and I saw the class. And I'm listening to him on the radio while he's talking about the class, about screenwriting and how he wants to do it and how he wants to make this class his. And he tells you straight up, like, this is my first go. Like, this is what I want to do. And by the time his interview was over, I had already signed up for his class. Yeah. So he came back to the green room, and I held up my phone. I was like, I'll see you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know what I was getting into. I always liked writing. A couple of my friends always told me that I should write. They always said I should write comedy, but they were like, you should write. And I've never really thought about it. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, whatever. So then I started doing my newsletter every week. I've been doing that every Friday. It comes out, writing called the Hickory Algorithm newsletter. And we just talk about what's going on in my life, what's happening in Hickory kind of thing. That's all I've done. And then we tie the podcast to it, right? And then I get in the class and I meet you.
Yeah. I'm sitting like 4 people over from you. Yeah.
And it's just wild how these things that if you have to be open to them, first of all. You know, the more we were in that class, and Todd, he's doing a great job teaching, and man, he had an actress Zoom us. Yeah. What was her name, man? She was on
McCormick.
She was on
McCormick, The West Wing.
Yeah, she's a big time actress.
Private Parts, the
Howard Stern flick.
Yeah.
And I was,
dude, what's more than that? Remember how nice she was?
Dude.
She was just like our teacher Todd and his wife. They're the nicest freaking people.
Right. She's like, I don't know how I can help. I don't know how can I help. I'm like, this girl was Zooming CVCC in the middle of Hickory, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I had to laugh, though, and I have to share this with the audiences. Man, I had such a crush on her, dude, when she was in Private Parts.
I can see that.
Because that was like 97, 98. I was probably 15, 16 years old. Howard Stern was huge. Yeah. And then she came along, and I was like, I remember I went home that night. I told my wife, I was like, you ain't going to believe what happened in writing class tonight, man, and who he had on, man. But yeah. It's just funny, man, that you and I are having this conversation here in Hickory, North Carolina, and we talk about
in your studio,
right? And it's just one of those things where it's like, if you take a step back and you look at it, it's pretty wild to think what we're doing here. You know what I mean? And filming this, you here, John here, and it's just Hickory, man. When we moved here, there was something drawing our family to Hickory. I didn't know what it was. And I feel like the more I'm open to new things, you know what I mean? Writing, talking to people like you, meeting Todd, and those kind of, it feels like
branching out.
Yeah, it feels like, something's happening. I don't know what it is, but it feels like we're progressing to where we should go. Man, I didn't mean to go out on a rant there, but I feel like
that's how you feel.
Yeah, I feel like, man, Todd's class, and did he say it's going to LR next, or talking about it, or he was thinking about?
I don't know.
Taking it somewhere in a longer class or something.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, LR or CVCC is going to have like a
16-week or
Yeah,
something.
something like that. Yeah, like when you get credits and stuff, that's what somebody's wanting to do, and I'm gonna take it again. I am. Hey, I'll be there, man. If I flunk, I flunk, but it won't be because I wasn't in class every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just the whole energy and vibe of our classmates in class. Everybody's cool, man, and I just love hearing everybody talk and input about the movies we watch and the writing styles. And like I said, I took the class to learn to be a better actor and to learn how when I'm writing stuff, little stuff, how I can act in it better and with more of the actors that I'm looking for in the shorts and the full features I'll be working on in the future. And I've learned so much more than just writing. I've learned, to hear him talk about history and Miami Vice, him bringing in, you remember the script, the Miami Vice script he showed us?
Oh yeah,
the
with the
original
blue
script?
pages and the pink pages and stuff. He's like,
Man,
this is actually
yeah,
it.
I was like, man, this is crazy. And I mean, the history he's got and the teaching and
Yeah, I feel like he's only scratching the surface right now.
his
too.
presence, man, his presence just speaks volumes, man. Him and his wife are just so good to us, man.
Yeah, and the thing, they want to read our stuff. They want to see what they
Yeah.
want, but it's not so much that you feel like, oh, they just want to read it and get. But it's like, no, they want to help.
Yeah.
They want to literally, like, they want to help you
Look
the
at it
best way they possibly
and tell you
can.
what you need to do.
Right, like this works, this doesn't work. And one thing that I've learned about the screenwriting class is, and it has helped me tremendously, because he would say chit chat. He'd be like, no one wants to hear chit chat. You said it to me too.
Yeah.
It was like, if you're writing a script, the more chit chat, dude, you're gonna lose people.
Dialogue, not monologue.
Yeah. And the other thing that he said that was great was, it's better to, I don't know if he said it, but this is how I interpreted it, was it's better to, like, I think of when you're selling your house, instead of doing your house up and, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this gold, I'm going to make this a beautiful, it's like, leave it as bare as possible. Leave it as bare as you can, but you want it to have the bones to it.
Have it clean.
Right. He says, because when an actor reads it, they're not going to read it how you want them to read it. They're going to read it through their head and what they think they can do with that scene, with that dialogue. Instead of you telling them, this is where he smiles, this is where he's funny.
That's what you said.
It's like, don't even say any of that. Just hit them with the dialogue, because the director also, if you're pitching something that you've written, you also want the director to see it through their lens. So you don't want to just, instead of saying, the water was calm and there was nothing in the sky, it's like, and all of a sudden, okay, all right, now all of a sudden we're starting to feel what we're looking for. You know what I mean? The sun's coming through the clouds. Okay, it's a cloudy. Now all of a sudden you have to be able to give them something so that they can see it themselves too, because they want to have their vision in your vision. You know what I mean? They wanted to keep building. So what you're building is sort of the bare bones of the house, just the structure. And if you let the actors and the directors and the people that you're working with sort of flesh it out a little bit more, they're more enticed by that. Or am I in a different class?
No, I mean, yeah, man, that's why he said, write with your heart, edit with your head. I mean, if you got something in your head, write it down. But yeah, when you get to the actual script part, the shooting script, that's when you want to have it, as clean as precise as possible. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, because he had a lot of different. I mean, even like log lines. I mean, he's throwing stuff out there. My notebook, dude. I'm a big pen and pad guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big pen and pad guy. A lot of people use their phone, but I gotta have a yellow page, and I gotta do it. Dude, I almost have to get another one. We've only been doing it for like 6 weeks or something. Just 2 more weeks.
Next week is the last week, unfortunately.
Is it really the next week?
Yeah.
So there you go. Like, I mean, I filled up a whole notebook of just like, he probably thinks I'm crazy because I barely even look up. I sit right in front of the class, but I'm like writing everything down. Because man, I never thought, I think I was leaving for the day at WHKY. Like I was leaving. I was like, oh, I'll just say hi to this guy. You know what I mean?
You never know who you're going to meet.
Right, man. So are you a big networker too? Do you try to get out there and meet as many people as you can?
At the film festivals, I mean, I make sure I speak to the festival director and
Hmm.
stuff. And yeah, I don't, I I don't because I do, but I don't. I make sure I speak and polite, courteous and cordial to everybody, but I don't, go there to specifically look for this person to, hey, I want you in my next movie. Like some people do. I don't do that. I just make sure I'm there and, I'm there and support the festival. Um,
So like some people go to there almost like the recruit.
yeah, some people do that, and some people are good at it. I'm not. I don't have that type of name, and don't have that kind of money to just, throw money in their face and say, here, this is what we could pay you to come be in this movie. So yeah, I mean, when I go to festivals, man, I've enjoyed most of the festivals I've gone to. There's a couple that I wouldn't go back to. Yeah, most of them I have a good time though. It's just cool seeing the movies and watching movies all day and popcorn all day and seeing celebrities and stars come in, you know, take pictures with some of them, have a little conversation with them. It's real cool, man. And you'll meet some nice people, and you'll meet some jerks too. You'll meet some of these people are jerks, but surprisingly, most of them are not jerks, and that's been a pleasant surprise to me.
Well, Jeremy, I wanna thank you for coming, man. I mean,
Oh yeah,
my big thing is to have a little love for the game whenever you're out there, no matter what you're doing. And man, you clearly have it, dude. And I respect the heck out of you for that, man.
thank you, man.
Having a vision, seeing it through, and then being successful with it, dude. That's what is up, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me in here today.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Remember, man, go out there, do something for a little love of the game. Put a little passion in your work and what you do every day. Chris, the Hickory Algorithm. See you next time.